So let me put you on to why they were using children in the maybe even the 60s, going back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s for docking or hybridization, right? The reason they did that because um a normal cryptid, right? Because sometimes they come out, sometimes they get captured. I mean, that's why they've quartered off like the national park systems. That's why they didn't want to give up information on people that go missing in the national park systems and all that stuff, because that is protected space for the cryptids. That's not for us. That's for the cryptids. Because some of these cryptids have certain migrational patterns throughout the years, throughout the year, like annual migration patterns, right? So, I believe they did it for their protection and to maintain stability, like socially, right? So they have certain places where you can't go and federally protected with steep penalty fines and things like that, and punishment and stuff, like if you violate, right, those spaces. Um, but they cannot control an indigenous cryptid, so they hybridize them with us, or they hybridize us with them, so that they have a backdoor entrance into us, interfacing with them. Because if you pay attention to some of these accounts that people talk about, they talk about how there may have been like a cryptid sighting or something like really bizarre happened in the woods, right? When they were in the woods, the animals went silent, insects, everything was silent, right? And they may have even killed the creature, and then suddenly, like, there's helicopters and shit that shows up, and then they just make it disappear, and then they threaten the people. Sometimes they kill the people who have reported it. This is why you should not, well, this is why you should be careful about what you're reporting, because you will get harassed and you may even get disappeared. If you say that you saw something or you had an encounter, but they are monitoring these beings that they are putting out. And these are not the human, these are not the children. I mean, they are monitoring them as well, because they're getting feedback and all this other stuff. Like, you're actively being researched throughout your life, like when you've been incorporated into these programs. But when they go in and they because sometimes they take these creatures, right, and then they will clone them and then try to integrate them, have that being integrate back into their indigenous tribe to kind of like undermine them, or as a Trojan horse. And they'll give it like certain abilities, maybe even certain like human abilities, and they use them as weapons against the indigenous population of their own species, right? That's what they do among us as well. They do the same thing. So that's actually a tactic of war, right? Is by taking one of them, reprogramming it, and introducing it back into its population as a Trojan horse, or to undermine the population. That's what they do among us, right? We've seen many examples. They're called tethers, right? Um, they're called tethers, and there's other words for them, but it's the same thing. So when it comes out to the children that have been taken and spliced with it, they use the children because psychologically they're able to monitor and even get into their mind. Some of these people have like experienced mind speak from these agencies. Some of these people are like gang stalked. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that's going on with that. Um, my personal experience, I mean, I've had some pretty interesting things happen. Um, but I just feel like as long as you know who you are and you talk about these things and you're honest about, and embody it, like own the shit, because it's you're definitely special. If you know that, if you know you were a part of this program, you're definitely special. So own it, talk about it, and like fucking be it, Um, let your let your cryptid ancestors speak to you, connect with you, and get into your fucking powers, bitch. I mean, it's there for you. I didn't know about mine. Well, that's another story. I'll get into that because it's actually kind of tragic, is how I found out about, my people. But my other people. But own it, get into it, and get into your powers, because your powers are a gift, okay?